cuckoo.
It's Muriel. My name is Muriel, you foolish old man.
I know your name is Muriel. That's what I called you.
You called me Grace. Grace was your first wife.
I called you Muriel. You're just hard of hearing and won't admit it. Grace. Grace, that's what I said.
There, you said it.
What?
Grace, you called me Grace.
Oh, silly old woman. You call me Harry, but I call you Grace.
Can't you hear yourself?
What?
I said, can't you hear yourself?
Well, of course I can hear myself. It's you that can't hear. I say you call me Harry. Sometimes your second husband, and sometimes George, your first.
I never did that. You're saying that because you call me Grace and once in a while Mary.
No, you just don't hear.
What's my name?
Silly question. Muriel. You're Muriel. Grace was my first wife. Mary was long ago.
Mary was before Grace.
No, she wasn't.
was.
I should know who was my first wife, woman.
Oh, that's great. Just call me woman. You won't get confused. It's not very flattering, but it's better than being called the names of your other wives. My name's Muriel. Your name's Harry.
Did you hear? You called me Harry. Pot calling the kettle black.
Oh, you just got me confused, that's all. You always could mix me up. Why, back when we were going to Europe, I remember...
We have never been in Europe. That was Harry.
You and I went to Europe.
We did not. Grace and I went to Europe on our honeymoon. That's when I had money before women had taken it all.
I have been to Europe with you.
You and Harry went to Europe.
I went to Europe with George, too.
Yes. Well, I'm Herbert.
So, we've never been to Europe?
Singly. Not together.
I think we have. You've forgotten.
I got a perfectly good memory.
You can't even remember my name. You and I were in Venice together. Oh. You're ashamed to remember it because of the scandalous good times we had. Oh, you loved me then.
I didn't love you when you were in Venice having a scandalous good time with whichever one it was, George or Harry. Which was it?
It was you.
I have never been to Venice in my life.
Yesterday, you said you had never been to Chicago, and I proved you wrong on that. Your second daughter by your first wife died there, and we went to her funeral.
Grace?
The daughter's name?
No, Grace's girl.
Grace wasn't your first wife. Mary was.
Were you there? I tell you, one was enough. Two was more than plenty. I don't know what got it into me to try it for a third time.
You were sick, and you were too tight to hire a nurse.
Well,
so you married me.
Well, I got well. Why didn't I kick you out? Don't cry. You know I didn't mean it. You're always crying. Cried buckets at our son's wedding. Took on something awful.
We didn't have any children, and I don't cry. That was Mary, and I'm Muriel.
No wonder I am confused, which I'm not. But you all the time are saying Grace, Mary, Muriel.
Just trying to straighten you out.
What difference does it make? I answer when you call me Bernie.
I never called you Bernie. I maybe once or twice called you Harry when I woke up sudden-like and didn't know where I was. But I never even knew a Bernie.
Bernie.
Never heard of him.
He'd be pleased to hear that.
Who was he?
You were carrying on with him when I met you.
I was married to Harry when you met me.
And carrying on with Bernie. But he cleared off.
That must have been Grace.
You were carrying on with?
No, Grace must have been carrying on with Bernie.
Grace wasn't married before. I was her first.
Not married, carrying on.
She was married to Harry and carrying on with Bernie.
You said she wasn't married before.
You were.
Oh. What day of the week is it?
What's that got to do with it?
You can't remember anything. You more senile old man Bernie Walters?
That's him.
Who?
Bernie Walters.
I never heard of him.
You just said his name.
You've been saying it for an hour. I just repeated it.
You said Bernie Walters.
I said I never heard of him. And besides, I wasn't married to Harry when I met you. It was George. If I'd been married to Harry, I wouldn't even looked at you. Fine, strapping man. Oh, may he rest in peace. Oh, what we did in Venice.
You see, it was Harry in Venice.
Of course it was Harry in Venice.
You said it was me.
You, huh? You wouldn't have had it in you to do a thing like that.
What? A thing like what?
Oh, don't be jealous of a dead man. I know I've done my best to forget him, George, like I promised when I married you.
I'm Herbert.
Do you keep repeating it so you won't forget who you are?
You called me George just now.
You know, a hearing aid's a cheap thing.
Oh, see here, Grace.
I'm Muriel.
Will you talk about me? Well, what about you? Muriel. I'm Muriel.
Cuckoo!
Oh, where? Oh, I wouldn't call you Grace. Grace was soft and gentle and kind.
Why'd you leave her then?
I didn't. She died.
Oh my, Mary died. Your first wife? You got sick of Grace and left her and married me.
Left Grace for you?
Yes, you silly old man.
Yeah, all wrong. Grace was my darling.
Oh, she drove you crazy.
My first love.
Mary,
Mary drove me crazy.
she was your first love. You've told me about it often enough, the two of you young colts prancing around in the nude.
Mary?
Yes.
I never saw Mary naked. That was her trouble. She was a cold woman.
That was Grace.
Grace, I saw naked. Oh, how naked. There was never anyone more nakeder.
You can only be naked. You can't be more or less naked.
Oh, you didn't know Grace.
Mary, I did know Grace.
Naked?
Keep a civil tongue in your head.
I never saw you naked.
Yes, and not likely to. Besides, what'd be the point? You couldn't do anything about it.
Oh, that's what you think.
You married me at 70, and you were through then, except for dreaming.
You're lying. We had some good goes together down by the beach.
You and I were never near a beach, and you were never near me in that way.
Old women forget. Forget the joys of the flesh. Why is that?
I don't forget Bernie.
Who?
Bernie Walters.
Never heard of him.
My second husband. I was married to him when Harry came along. But Harry went away and then you came along a long time after. Platonic marriage, that's what we've had, you and I, George. But it's all right.
Well, platonic under the willow tree that June.
What willow tree?
Oh, I've been good to you, Mary. For all of your partners, you're falling off in your old age. because I remember that willow tree. Muriel never knew about it. Ooh, we were wicked.
Oh, if I thought you knew what you were talking about, I'd get mad, but you're just babbling. Babbling, Bernie, that's what you are. Herbert used to say to me, how can you listen to him babble?
I'm Herbert!
If it makes you feel more secure, go on, keep reminding yourself.
You call me Bernie. You just try to confuse me. Bernie, Harry, George, Grace, Mary.
You started slipping a long time ago. Only then you were more honest about it. It was touching. Like when we went to Florida and you gave me the tickets and you said, Grace, my mind's slipping, take care of the tickets.
Your name is Muriel.
Yes, yes, Lovey, my name's Muriel.
You referred to yourself as Grace.
Oh, very likely, very likely.
You said I gave the tickets to Florida and said, Grace, my mind's slipping.
Well, it was.
I've never been to Florida.
Ha, ha, ha. Let's not go into that. The pongee suit.
I never owned a pongee suit.
Oh, you said it was the same suit you wore when you married Helen. And we had a long discussion about how ironic it was that you were wearing the same suit to run away with me.
Who's Helen?
Well, you were married to her, silly.
I was running away to Florida with you, and I was so old my mind was slipping, and I couldn't remember the tickets.
Lovey, you're running a lot of things together that happened at different times. Maybe you should just sit quietly for a while, Harry, until you get it straightened out.
My name is Herbert.
That's right, we'll start from there. You're Herbert, I'm Grace.
You're Muriel.
That's right, now let's just leave it at that for now or you won't sleep tonight.
I always sleep.
A fortune of sleeping pills.
I never had one in my life.
Oh, and you've never been to Chicago either, I suppose.
Never. Why should I have gone to Chicago?
Well, only because our daughter died there and we went to the funeral.
We had no children together.
I think we shouldn't talk anymore now. You're just getting confused.
You never let me see your lily white body.
Oh, what about that afternoon under the willow tree? I think that's when we conceived Ralph.
Who's Ralph?
Ralph is your stepson. Good grief.
Oh, God. I conceived my stepson under a willow tree.
I'd prefer it if we just remain quiet for a while. You can't follow a train of thought for more than a moment. And it's very tiring jumping back and forth with you. Why don't you just close your eyes and rest? Are your eyes hurting you?
No.
Oh, medicine must be very good then.
What medicine?
Oh, you see, that's what I mean.
I never had any medicine for my eyes.
Oh, yes, all right. Let's not argue, George.
I'm Harry.
Yes, all right. Well, just hold hands here, try to doze, and think of happier days.
Venice.
Succulent, if not slightly scandalous.
Oh, the beach.
The willow tree.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
coming. I'm sorry it changed, but we adjusted.
Yeah.
Good night.